Tears for the Tear God, Salt for the Salt Throne, and Gas the Leaf Tribe.
I've said it before. Canadians have a terrible habit of voting to remove someone from office, to vote strategically, to remove somebody. And personally, I am getting sick and tired of strategically and cowardly casting my ballot to remove someone from office, only to find that my vote helped to elect some other asshole who also doesn't believe what I believe, who also doesn't represent me, who also is happy to sell me out for a seat on the UN Security Council. What the fuck are we doing here?
Hear this dirge and despair!
While I was away, I did manage to watch the English language debate. More interestingly, I watched the Google search trends during and after the debates. And Maxime Bernier and the PPC are getting a lot of attention they weren't previously getting. And now, more than before, I'm seeing a lot of this. A lot of, oh, it's a choice between two people. You're either with us or against us, from CPC supporters. A lot of blocking by CPC supporters for having a different opinion, or an opinion they just don't like. Or outright attempting to shame people into voting their way. These CPC supporters don't sound very different in behavior from, say, the ridiculous leftist activists. So if the supporters aren't any different from the ridiculous leftist activists, why would I believe that their leader is any different than the ridiculous leftist activists? What the fuck are we doing here? Something I find very interesting and telling is very few, if any, of these CPC supporters ever come out and say they don't like the PPC platform or they don't like Maxime Bernier. They just say Max can't win, a vote for Max is a vote for Trudeau, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's... they're wrong. They're wrong. We have a parliament. We have a parliamentary system that's been behaving like a two-party system for 150 years. Not because the system behaves that way, but because we behave that way. We as a people behave that way. It's on us to change that. Right? Now is as good a time as any. And these debates, they sort of showed it, because every supporter for each party said that their party's leader won. First off, nobody won, because it wasn't a debate. The format was so horrific that calling it a debate is a crime against debates and God. Next, honestly, I think Jagmeet Singh looked best. Outside of the fact that he said that the leader who has candidates in more ridings than the NDP shouldn't have a platform, and when he refused to answer a question asked by a journalist because he didn't like the outlet, yeah, he is like a complete fucking douchebag, but he still came off best. Probably most relaxed. I would say that he has diehard supporters, so he and most of his people won't lose their jobs. Also, he knows that he's not going to win, so there's no pressure on him to actually come through with any of his promises. Yeah, I'd be pretty relaxed up there too. But Trudeau looked fucking horrible. Just terrible up there. And I think Jagmeet Singh and the NDP stole a bunch of seats from the Liberals that night. I also think the PPC stole a bunch of seats from the Conservative Party and from a bunch of people that normally don't vote. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, because we need to have more parties and more vote splitting so that we can have an actual functional parliament, instead of a parliament behaving like a two-party system because we keep insisting that's what it is by casting our ballots strategically. So, go ahead and tell me, you cowardly CPC supporters, you strategic voters, that a vote for Max is a vote for Trudeau. My vote for Max is a vote for Max. You're not voting for Scheer, you're voting against Trudeau. I finally have someone for whom I can vote. A party that might actually represent me. You don't have that, so good luck. Good luck voting against somebody for the rest of your fucking life. Because I'm moving on from that. And I hope you nut up and come with us, seriously. On a final note, there are diehard supporters of every party. Liberal diehards, CPC diehards, NDP diehards, even the Bloc Québécois and the Greens have their diehard supporters. But unlike the Liberals, the CPC, and the NDP, whose voters will mix it up, depending on the election, depending on the issues. Sometimes someone who votes Liberal a lot will vote NDP. Someone who votes NDP a lot might vote Liberal. Someone who votes CPC might vote Liberal. Someone who votes Liberal might vote CPC. There's a lot of that in those three parties. In the PPC, there is only diehard PPC supporters. Every one of us is a diehard PPC supporter. Do not doubt this. It's the only way that in less than a year, a brand new party could develop 300 plus EDAs, all volunteer across the country. We're not going away. It doesn't matter if Maxime Bernier doesn't become prime minister. It doesn't matter if they're not the official opposition. It doesn't matter if they get 40 seats, 30 seats, 20 seats, 10, 1, 0. If the PPC wins 0 seats in this election, do not doubt that in the next election, there will be 300 plus volunteer EDAs representing almost, if not every riding, in the entire country. We're here. We're PPC. Get used to it.
Ours is the song of victory.
Relevant links to shit I said in the description. Maybe.
Slanesh is with us.
Like, subscribe, or don't. It's a free country. At least
It
it
will
used to be.
silence us.